Okay, welcome to the Nice Time Fine Time Reality with Justy Humphrey. We are still running the Five White Choice Project, which is very, very important that you go ahead with us. Thank you so much. We really want to talk about something here because whenever I go on social media, I see a lot of people trying to be what they are not supposed to be, what they're not supposed to be, trying to be what they were not designed or predestined to be. And that is what it is. Now, I remember 2016, yes, thereabout 2016, I was in my uncle's place in Magodo Estate here in Lagos. Um, I was right in the bedroom bathing because I was just filled with leadership as of then. I was just coming up in my leadership ideas. So I was almost every minute I'm on leadership. You see me reading books and every time on my leadership idea. So God was looking at me from that perspective because yes, I'm a product of what God is doing to humanity. That's what who I am. So I want you to believe in that you are a product of what God is doing in humanity. So I was a product, I'm a product of what God is doing in humanity. So and that's 2016, it happens that I was fighting to the bedroom. I believe I was having this conviction sort of me. I was thinking deep on what I'm going to be doing in my world when I am coming up, as I'm coming up. So I had this idea that just dropped into my mind. No matter what you try to become, never change people's destiny. No matter what you try to become, never you change people's destiny. Let them become what they were meant to be. When you are trying to make them, make sure you're making them to become what they were meant to be. Nobody is a duplicate. We are all in a different perspective to earth. And that different perspective we came with is very essential to the colors and the uniqueness of our earth, to the unity, to the sweetness of our earth. So oftentimes what you are thinking is not what you need. I want to clear you on something that drove my mind in doing this teaching. Listen to it very clearly. It said, you don't actually need all you are thinking now to become who you want to be. That is a deception in disguise. Again, you are becoming confused and discouraged because you are having so much expectation and desires. That is not truly the way you have to go. There, I'm going to give you 6 points. 6 points of consideration to become who you are supposed to be. 6 points. See, very clearly, most things you're thinking now are not what you're supposed to be. You see, the idea is you are trying to do what? You're trying to fit into different angle of your life. And that is why in the Wise Choice Project, we talk about personal correctness, your leadership, we talk about character blend, and other things we are looking at, health and all the stuff. So if you watch in the Five Wise Choice Project, we have a design. We have a design we are looking at. We have a design we are focusing on. We have a design we are trying to put into the life of people. Then find yourself in that design. Find where your niche is and try to be just that and nothing more. Don't really follow the crowd because you think the crowd is having everything. No. Now, let me tell you first thing first, you must understand in becoming the original you. 6 things I'm going to say. I'll give the first one of what you should become, should know in becoming the original you. Write it down. Write it down. Number one, have the knowledge of who you are. The real knowledge of who you are. The knowledge of who you are. You know, we are confused in our generation because we don't actually know who we are. Have a knowledge of who am I? What am I trying to give out? What am I trying to portray? What is the vision in my mind? What's the vision in my heart? What do I want to go about it? Who am I? What is the vision? What's the goal? What's the meaning I came into this world with? What is the meaning? Your meaning is your place of business. It's where you give out. So you don't really need to be everybody. Just be who you are meant to be. That is what it's supposed to be. So find who you are. I found out myself that the only thing I can do is teach leadership, the kingdom of God, and help people, coach people to become relevant. And I discovered this from a conscience that is so active. And I related it to the true meaning of life. And I found God, that God is the person that can make you deliver the true meaning you have in your heart. Or else, situations will make you change. So when I found God, God gave me a plan. And that is the plan I'm following. And that is why I want you to understand that you have a plan with God. That is what it is. Number two, go for training. Go for training. You must be ready to allow yourself to be trained on what you see. I want to tell you something. Nothing equals the power of training. Nothing equals the power of training. I was not an extrovert, I was an introvert. But YouTube 2014, 15, 16 on YouTube, I study men that have influenced their generation. People like Miles Morrow, particularly number one, Miles Morrow. The second person, John C. Maxwell. So oftentimes you see me repost them on my page, on my speech. I try to record their names. These are people who have transformed me. And I have one person in Nigeria, people like Sam Adeyemi, and again, Dr. Chris Oyakilome. These are people that really change some certain things in me, and I always try to repeat their names on most of my videos. Please, you cannot just be who you want to be. You need some people to teach you who you're supposed to be, and that is what it is. And I told you from the beginning of this video that was the first thing God told me. He said, try to make people to become who they were meant to be. Don't make people who you want them to be. Go for training. Go for training is essential. Go for training. I studied the book. The first book I read in this life was the book of Tim LaHaye, Why You Act the Way You Do. And that is why in our 5 Wise Choice project, we use character as the first thing. Because character tells who you're going to be, your charisma, your vision. What people are going to buy from you is your character. And we talk about character being as what there's a fortune on a saving scheme. Means it's what you're going to sell. It's what you're keeping for your generation. So that is what it is. The number 3 is consistency. You must be consistent in what you're becoming. I always visit YouTube every day to learn from Miles Morrow, to learn from Jesse Maxwell, to learn from Brian Chesney, to learn from Rick Warren, to Warren Bennis, Ziglaga, and all of them, Alibaba. I try to hear these people talk some sense into me. So you want to become great, you have to be consistent in developing yourself. Consistency is important in developing who you want to be. Now, number 4 is you must be prayerful. No rich man that is not spiritual. Nobody on earth. In the Wise Church project, we have the spiritual credibility. Spiritual credibility. We're coming with the teaching. So I think I'm trying to make some summary here. So we want to know that spirituality is one of the greatest things in this life. You are 60% spiritual and just 40% physical. You are 60% spiritual. In everything you're going to do, no man that doesn't pray, no rich man that doesn't pray. Elon Musk and Jez Bezos and what they call their name, all of them pray to something. They pray to something, looking for power. Prayer means you're connecting with a deity that is out of physical atmosphere or physical hemisphere. So you need to pray. And the number 4 is mentorship. Mentorship. Somebody, you must be accountable to somebody. That is what mentorship is all about. You must be accountable to somebody. Somebody must be over you. Somebody must be working on your reasoning. Somebody must be looking at you, and you must be looking up to somebody. And the truth there is that obedience comes in where you look at a person. You don't want to fail. You don't want to fail. You want to guide your life the way your life should go. So you start reasoning on mentorship. You must be mentored. You must be mentored. You must be mentored. It's one of the credibility of life. One must be mentored. Have you not asked yourself why Nollywood in those days was all about Ebuka going to town to meet his uncle to learn business? And let me find with you. You see that they start learning. They want to be mentored. And that is why trade is the greatest part of life. Trade is one of the greatest part of life. Now, lastly, because I don't want to make this video very long, is discipline. Nothing you should do without discipline. You want to become great, you must be disciplined. Even your eating, be disciplined. The way you mingle yourself, be disciplined. So in becoming yourself, you must be disciplined. You must have time for yourself, have time for your vision. I remember some time ago, I have 700 naira then book in Bandri at Ajegule. Some of you who may know Ajegule, Apapa area in Lagos. I'll be buying books every now and then. People will be looking at me. I'll buy books. I move around with books on my hand. I can stop at a place and start reading. It becomes like a madness, but it wasn't. It was me disciplined to produce myself. It wasn't madness. I can have 700 naira. I just bought a book. But because I needed another translation, maybe I just read at the back of the book and I saw a recommendation of another book, I'll go and look for that book. I remember one day I had a book, Passing It On by Miles Morrow, Passing It On. You can go and look for the book. It's very, very important. It's about successorship. So I was having this book and I needed to read that book from the beginning to the end. At the back of the book, and I saw a recommendation to another book, In Charge, by the same Miles Morrow. And when I got to the market, the book was 700 naira. And that was the last one I had in my hand. And I was so disciplined to produce myself. I met the person that's selling the book, the bookstore, the bookshop seller. I told him, I said, see, I want to buy this book. He said, it's 700 last. And that was the last one I had in my hand. And I was in school. I had nothing to eat. I said to myself, okay, fine. How am I going to do it? I was like thinking. I came back. I was not confident because I left home. I was not okay within myself. I left for home. I came back again to the boundary market. I was like, sir, please, can you give me this book for 600? Let me have 100 naira with me. He said, no, it's 700 last. I had to give that book and stay hungry just to buy that book. I'm telling you my testimony. You must be disciplined. You must be disciplined. There are things you must not engage yourself into. If you know you're becoming a leader, if you know you're becoming a person of influence, a person of credibility, a person that everybody in this world or people around you must look up to, a person that wants to influence his corner, change his environment, then I'll be frank with you. You must not follow the trend. Not everything about the trend you should follow. Sorry. Not everything about the trend. Listen to men. I was into Daddy Oyedepo one of the days. He was saying something. I looked at him. The first thing that happened to my head was, you need to talk to people. Jude, you need to meet people. Jude Humphrey, you need to meet people. So I want to tell you today, it's not what you're thinking. It's what you've not thought of. Start re-strategizing yourself. Tell yourself, in this area of discipline, you must have a plan. You must have a plan. Because the plan brings you to the place of understanding the little side of your vision and how you should go about it. You must have a plan. You must have a plan. Thank you so much. As you'll be following us on this place, you just share to your brothers and sisters, share to everybody. It's not about we trying to make money. It's not about we trying to make greatness. It's for us to produce ourselves. I always tell young people around me, I say, try to produce yourself. It's very, very important. Share. Let's know your idea. Thank you so much. Wise Choice Project. See you.